So, Brad, this is a bit of deja vu for us, I think, up in the early AM.
Yes, just a little bit, but it's exciting.
Yeah, it's very cool. It's Saturday morning, the day after the Walking Dead panel at San Diego Comic-Con, and we found out some very cool stuff. We got to see some very cool stuff, and everybody's going to get to hear some very cool stuff. We have the full audio from the Walking Dead panel that just happened yesterday evening, where you're going to get some really cool stuff from the entire cast and creators, similar to what we've had in the past for New York Comic-Con and San Diego Comic-Con. So that's really cool. But before we get to that, Brad, how about we talk about our sponsor really quickly, because none of this is possible without them. DCBSservice.com, discount comic book service. Get all your Walking Dead comics from them. 30, 40, even 50% off. Add the code WD8 to that, and if it's your first time ordering, you can get an extra 8% on all your Walking Dead orders. The floppy issues, the trades, the hardcovers, the omnibuses, the videos, the t-shirts, anything Walking Dead, you can get at DCBService.com. So,
DCBService.com is the best way to save money on your books. Don't forget to check out their sister website, InStockTrades.com. Great prices on trade paperbacks and hardbacks. If you order $50 or more, they ship it to you for free. So make your list, keep it for a couple months, get up to that $50 mark, save 40% on your books, get them shipped to you free.
yeah, and the one last thing, if you're sitting there going, I'm not going to buy books, I'm going to read all of my comics digitally, they have a deal with Comixology as well. You place your digital orders through DCBS and you save a little bit of money. So, all great stuff. Now, I guess we'll start with the premiere date of Season 3. There was a little bit of confusion. October 15th sort of slipped out of Comic-Con, which is actually Monday. So the actual date for the premiere of Season 3 is October 14th.
I'm going to set out an app on my phone. It's a countdown app. I'm going to set an app for a countdown for October 14th, so I'll always know at the drop of a hat how much longer I have to wait.
Yeah, it is kind of exciting now that we actually have a date and everybody can start similar countdowns, and maybe we'll try to work something out like that on the site or the Facebook page. I'm sure they have countdown widgets or whatever you call them. Okay, next. I don't want to spoil any of the news that came out of the panel because Brad hasn't heard the panel yet, and we want everybody to experience it as you get to hear it live on the podcast. But one thing we can talk about before we start that up is the awesome trailer. And Brad forced me to make sure that I saw it before we recorded, and I'm glad he did. It was an awesome 4-minute trailer with lots of cool stuff. So anything off the top of your head, Brad, that sticks out or that you want to mention?
Well, it's funny that we recorded an episode, 3 days ago, just a day or two before all this wonderful news came out. So, we speculated on some things and made comments about some things. One of the things we talked about was that one scene that we had seen Michonne decapitating some walkers in a store or something, and we had kind of went back and forth about that, whether it looked good or not. But I'm telling you what, that same scene was in the 4-minute trailer, and it looks fantastic. I think they tweaked some of the special effects. I think we actually got to see, it was quick, but we actually got to see her sword go through 2 zombies next at once, which was awesome, which felt like it came out of the book.
Acquire through like some sort of pay-per-view kind of thing? Through like some sort of pay-per-view kind of
Pretty much whatever you guys want to talk.
Have you seen all 6? What we would like in the States, what we would have like a pay cable TV station.
I don't mind talking about that because it's in the trailer. You're going to see it. You're going to stop this podcast right now and go look at it. You have to go to amctv.com, and I believe there's a link on the front page. But, I had expressed some reservations about the governor after this trailer. I couldn't be more excited. I don't care what the guy looked like, but he just feels like the guy in the comics. He just radiates right off the comic book page. So I'm so very excited. I'll go ahead and say it. We got to see a shot of Merle with something on his hand, where his hand was. So that was awesome. Rooker spilled the beans a while back about that Merle was coming back, but it's official now. Merle is coming back, and it's nice to see him back. Some really great shots of the prison, inside the prison. Oh, gosh, can you tell I'm excited, John? I'll shut up now.
There's so much good in there. One thing that stands out to me, which is actually strange, but in all the photos and in this trailer as well, I keep noticing that I think they're amping up Maggie. She seems to be in like fighting gear or something. I think she's wearing like riding clothes, so she's got the big boots on, and she's wielding a gun and stuff. So it looks like maybe the female characters are gonna get amped up a bit, which is cool. The claustrophobic.
Yeah, there's a shot with Carol and a gun, which is actually really cool.
Yeah, and I think they show some real claustrophobic like scenes of them working their way through a prison in the dark with flashlights and stuff. Which should be really creepy and cool. And, it's an interesting dynamic because in a prison, and they mentioned this in the trailer, you're going to be loaded with supplies in a prison. You can get riot gear, you can get guns, you can get tools, you can get medicine, food. There's obviously tons of food stored there as well. So it really does make sense that they would go to all of these lengths to either defend it from other people or to rid it of all the zombies in order to try to live there. So it should be really awesome. I'm a little disappointed that they spilled the beans on Merle at the end of the trailer, only because, I get they want to promote that he's coming back because that's an extra little ratings kick maybe of some people that were waiting for him to return. But the fact that they show his prosthetic hand tells you that he's really back. It's not a flashback. It's not a hallucination. It's not, anything in that regard. It's Merle after his hand was cut off. So that's really awesome that it's happening because I can't wait to see the interaction with Daryl and the rest of the group. But at the same time, it sort of spilled the beans on a pretty big plot line for the season.
I feel you. Whipper spoiled it at a con a while back, and AMC released some photos of it. So it's not like we haven't seen it, but those people that don't seek out spoilers and don't cruise the internet when they're bored, they may not have seen this yet. And it's definitely going to spoil it for them. But then again, like in the last episode we had when we talked about spoilers, some people like knowing what they're getting into. It just builds anticipation for them. And I can see it both ways. But regardless, I'm thrilled with that trailer and can't wait for October.
Yeah. So Brad, I think with that, we're going to let this roll into the panel.
All right, I can't wait to listen to it.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. Really quickly, it's about 45 minutes. There's going to be some points where people are cheering and things get a little loud and crazy, and you might not be able to hear exactly what's going on. They do a good job of introducing everybody as they walk in, and there might be a little bit of language in it somewhere. I'm going to leave it as is, so I'm just going to give a little pre-warning. We usually beep out like curses and stuff like that, but we're going to leave this panel audio as is, and a few of these participants are known to drop one every once in a while. So just in case, there could be mild spoilers. They're not going to give away anything big, so I don't think you have to worry about that. Thanks for checking it out, and we hope you enjoy.
Crap loads of you here. It's going to be amazing. Thanks so much for coming to the Walking Dead panel. We have a lot of stuff to get through and a lot of great people to talk to and a lot of surprises. So let's get it going. I would love to welcome to the stage right now executive producer, creator of the Walking Dead comic, Mr. Robert Kirkman. Executive producer. Oh wait, no, Robert, this is your panel. You see right next to me, cupcake. Executive producer David Albert. Yep, just right there the whole time. Just awkward. Oh, you're really getting in there. You're really digging in there. Right on the hip. Yep, that's our baby you're rubbing. He's gonna have a good life. Special effects supervisor, co-executive producer, Mr. Greg Nicotero. Executive producer Galen Hurd. And showrunner and executive producer Glenn Mazzara. Hey guys, welcome to Comic-Con. How you guys doing? Good. All right, Mr. Kirkman, let's start with you. Let's tell us everything that happens in season 3 in detail.
Well, we open on a scene of I can't tell you, and then it quickly transitions into another scene, and you'll just have to wait and see.
All right. I had the privilege of going to the set a few weeks ago. Managed to avoid most spoilers, but it really truly was unbelievable. Do you want to tell us a little bit about what you guys have built and what people can look forward to?
Yeah, we have a thing called a prison that is going to feature prominently. It's constructed by a very talented production designer named Grace Walker, who really transformed a studio into the prison that you're going to see in the show, and it's pretty amazing.
It really is stunning. Like, it doesn't just, even seeing it in person, it doesn't, like, a lot of times you see a set and you go, oh, it looks like a backlight, but it actually looks like a prison, like what you guys built.
It doesn't look like a backlight.
No, it does not look like a backlight. And then David Albert, tell us, you're the producer now, so you want to tell us what your experience has been like this season?
Honestly, the comic books that I've been working on with Robert for the last 10 years, and seeing this thing come to life and seeing it on screen has been one of the greatest honors of my entire life.
Did it translate the way that you think it would from the page onto the screen, or did it completely exceed every expectation that you had in your head?
Honestly, it's one of those things where I had a vision in my head as to what it might look like, and everything that's come out has been pretty much been better than that. So the thing I've been loving though is honestly picking up at I feel like the pace really started to pick up at the end of season 2. I feel like we're sort of putting our foot on the accelerator now. It's going to go even faster right now.
Yeah, I mean, listen, there were a couple complainers at the beginning of season 2, like, why did you do more zombie stuff? And then David Varl, and then by the end of it, oh yeah, he and I are going to go toe to toe. But I've done it now. But then by the end of season 2, to any even of the borderline naysayers, it was like, hey, why don't you suck it? There was a lot of zombie action, and the energy was so intense by the end of season 2. And I remember when we wrapped Talking Dead, you were on the last episode, you go, I'm not even thinking about season 2 anymore. We're way into season 3, and it starts at the level that season 2 ended and does not stop.
That is very true.
Obviously, you couldn't have a zombie show without super realistic-looking zombies, and that is courtesy of Mr. Greg Nicotero. So tell us just a little bit about improvements, modifications, anything that you've seen you wanted to, like, how are you constantly evolving the zombies and the makeup this season?
Well, every year, we watch a show, and we're fine and determine what we love about certain zombies and walkers and what we like. We always are changing the contact lenses, the dentures. A lot of times we'll put ball caps on guys, and in the episode that I did last year where Dale gets killed, we had a walker that was shirtless so you could see all the ribs, and so we're doing a lot more of that kind of stuff this year. We really want to sell that they're decomposing and emaciated and hungry, and there's a lot of them.
Yeah.
So we're in episode 6, and we've been pretty busy. It definitely sort of takes us, where we left off from 211, 212, and 213, when we start seeing more and more walkers and the farm gets overrun, and we're definitely maintaining that.
Well, obviously, you guys also have to be pretty cognizant of the fact that as time moves on, these Walking Dead creatures are going to start decomposing, and so it seems like you kind of have to up the detail as time goes on because of that flow.
Well, that's the plan. And, the beauty of the show is we have a lot of prosthetics, and then there's some visual effects, and we do some animatronic puppets and some stuff like that this season that we didn't really get a chance to do in the last 2 seasons. So we're keeping the audience guessing. Every time you think you want to know how we did something, we're going to sort of throw something else at you. So it's going to be great.
And you're directing as well.
I am. I just finished my first episode about a week and a half ago.
What is that like? Yeah, congratulations. How is it? How do you go from to having your normal job, which is already a big job, to taking on directing an episode?
Well, for me, you would sort of assume that shooting the zombie stuff would be second nature, and it is. It's important to me to make sure that the character stuff is grounded. And fortunately for me, my episode was written by Angela Kang, who's an amazing writer. So I had a lot of great stuff to do, and there's iconic moments from the graphic novel that appear in my episode. There's like 3 different things, which of course I can't tell you about, but you'll see. But it's exciting that I got a chance to sort of visualize those moments that were in the graphic novel. So it was challenging. It's really 8 of the hardest days of my career, but the most rewarding. I mean, getting a chance to direct this cast and watch them turn into those characters on camera, it's amazing. It really is.
Gail, what about you? What's season 3 been like for you so far? Have you seen the show at all since the beginning?
Well, I think it's kind of interesting when you think about it. Here we hire a production designer whose last name is Walker.
Yeah.
I think we're being taken over by The Walking Dead in the best possible way. But this season, it's been fantastic because we have not only a prison location, we're introducing Woodbury and the characters that populate that. The kick-ass Michonne and the governor.
I mean, one of the questions we got asked the most on Talking Dead at the beginning is, when's Michonne coming, when we get to see the governor, and now we actually get to see that. I mean, the reveal, I watched the season finale the day that it aired, right before we shot our show, and I literally, when the Michonne reveal, I was like, holy shit, like, I jumped off my couch. I was alone. It was really sad. But then the reveal of the prison, too, at the end was so genius. I really, tell us, like, how true are you sticking to the comics with these characters, and what do you see in store for them next season?
Well, Michonne kicks ass with a katana sword in a way that I hope all of you watched The Talking Dead last weekend. If you did, you got to see a little of her katana wielding action.
Yeah, I buried it in the side of prison by mistake because I got really excited.
We had to fix that.
Sorry.
You may not be invited back next season.
That's all right. Thank you, person.
The intensity level is incredible. We've got our cast inoculated now. The new people realize just what they're in for and the level that we expect, and they become just as passionate about The Walking Dead as the rest of us already are.
And you had an announcement that you were going to make for folks that, both of you together, Glenn Mazzara, the executive producer, showrunner. When I talk to you, like, obviously when you come on a show, people might be like, oh, he's got to seem super animated because he works on the show. But talking to you backstage, like, for one, you were genuinely excited about the stuff that you're doing, and I feel like you always want to tell me more than you're allowed to tell me.
I wish I could. I mean, I'm so excited about the show. I love the show. I love the people we work with. We have a great cast, great team of writers, producers, and I really think we're in the zone on this one. I feel like it's exciting, and we keep pushing each other, and can we do this, can we do that, and even just the zombie gags, I'll call Greg and say, has this ever been done in a zombie movie before? Have we ever seen this? And he'll say, no. Okay, great, we're going with it. And it's just a lot of fun to write.
For a zombie love scene?
Yeah.
how? Because obviously anyone who's read the comics knows that there's some really terrible things that befall these people. So how true can you stick to the depths of the horribleness that happens to these people? Is it something like, oh well, yeah, maybe we can't do that on television, or is it pretty much like, we're going to try this and hope that AMC lets it go?
It's a couple of things. I think one, it's about staying true to the spirit of the comic book. It's about staying raw, visceral. Bringing it every week. That's something we want to do. That's certainly true in the comic book every issue. And we have a lot of time to do it. We want to have these new characters and develop them and make sure that they're fully realized and have people invested. And then when you see incredible stuff happen to them, it's scary and it hurts. And I think that's part of where we ended up at the end of last season, and that's what we're going to continue to do.
So obviously you have an announcement. I'm sure people want to know when. So
yeah, I would like to make an announcement that we are back Sunday, October 14th at 9 p.m.
That's just a few months. That's not that long. It feels like Comic-Con 2011 was like a week ago. So I think just waiting a few more months to October will be great. Was there anything else that you wanted to add?
Hopefully a lot of you are also from countries around the world. We've got fans in Fox International's 122 countries, 35 languages, and the new season will roll out starting the very next day, October 15th, and will have premiered throughout the rest of the world the rest of that week. So get ready for a lot of dead.
Dios mío, los zombies! I don't know, one of them. But we also have, right now, before we bring out the some very special people here that I know that you lined up to see, we have a very special clip, you guys. This is a first look, exclusive to you, in Hall H at Comic-Con, of The Walking Dead. Rhymes, Andrew Lincoln! Corey Rhymes, Sarah Wayne Callies! Daryl Dixon, Norman Reedus! Andrea, Laurie Holden! Glenn, Stephen Young! Maddie, Lauren Cohan! Introducing us, Michelle Benaguera! And as the governor, David Morrissey! Oh my God, you guys, welcome. This is an enormous panel, but this is what this should be. Just in case you didn't know before, that guy didn't give me a microphone, just to tell you. Thank you! So, okay, I got a picture of that, Steve. Welcome, you guys. How are you doing? I don't know if people really understand, but the schedule of your shooting is insane, and you still managed to make it to Comic-Con. Andrew Lincoln, how are you feeling right now?
I think I'm having an out-of-body experience at the moment. This is insane.
Yeah, it's about 600 people.
The shooting schedule is crazy, as always. It's hot, it's fierce, it's brutal, and we love it that way. It's so good. Can I just say it's so good to be back here again? And because this is, and to see all you guys, and it's amazing because without you guys, this show would not exist, and that's the bottom line. And so it kind of always, people say, what's it like to be back at Comic-Con? I said, well, it just feels like you kind of come home here as well. And just so you know, everybody is busting their guts to bring you the best season we've ever brought to you this year. And a big salute to the crew as well, because they are phenomenal, and just as much an important members.
I mean, this last year, there were a lot of people.
I love you very much as well.
It's very heartfelt.
In a very real way, I love you as well. Not as much as my wife or children, but...
Thank you.
Can I quote you on that? In the trailers, Guy at Comic-Con says, best show on TV, period. Actually, like 9 exclamation points. I mean, this, being in Hall H, you sort of graduate, like, this is the biggest hall at the biggest con in the world, and you see that the fans, and because most of the time you guys are working in a bubble, you're in Georgia, you don't get to see this kind of interaction, so, Sarah, how is it for you to come and see this?
It's wonderful. Even though I know there's some of you who are mad at me. And that's cool. We'll talk about it later. Or we won't. But, we go and we promote this all over the place. I think we've probably been to, more territories than we can possibly count. But this is our only opportunity to interact with you guys. Everywhere else we go, we're talking to the press and we're dealing with journalists, and that's fine. But here we get it from you guys, and you're honest and you're raw, and the feedback we get from you guys is incredible. It's also really humbling. I don't know if I can see the end of this.
Amazing.
It just sort of blends into the horizon, like, as far as you can see.
Hi to the stormtroopers at the back.
I always especially these panels where, if that girl got infected and became a zombie, how quickly could Hall H just turn like that? How quickly would it spread? I'm sure there's a sim that you can run that would tell you the answer to that.
The apocalypse starts at Comic-Con.
Norman Reedus, Daryl Dixon, people.
Wow, it looks like Christmas in here. All these little camera phones.
Yeah.
Wow, thank you guys so much. We love each other in our job, and you guys rock. You know what I mean? So thank you so much.
Norman, the ladies seem to be all up in your business.
Everybody loves a redneck, you know what I mean?
How are you seeing Daryl this season, and how have you seen him evolve? And is there anything that you can share, even as a sort of philosophical approach to the character in season 3 without giving anything away?
Well, I mean, he's a guy that's under the thumb of his big brother Merle, and you can imagine what that would be like. Out of that, being away from Merle, he's sort of finding himself needed and appreciated, and he's sort of making bonds with all these people. He'd fight to the death for this group of people, and I think it means a lot to him. Sophia meant a lot, and he's sort of finding his ways, kind of growing up. I don't know. I love playing him. I keep finding new things about him all the time.
I love him so much. That's what it leaves.
Love you back.
Which nation? Oh, Geek Nation loves you. This is the Freaky Geek Nation. What are you talking about? That's everybody. Laurie Holden, you're separated from the group now, so you have a whole separate thing that's going on. What is emotionally, what's Laurie going through at this point? I mean, what's Andrea going through? Laurie, I did the same thing to Stevie, and I called him Glenn on the show. I'm like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. I just watched your character.
At the end of season 2, I was saved by this wonderful woman, Michelle, played by the lovely Denai. It's a very different season for Andrea because she's separated from the group, and it's a wonderful journey actually because she's met this alpha female, and they become very good friends, and they watch each other's back, and it's wonderful storytelling as they're battling the elements in this apocalyptic world.
And did you guys? We kind of chatted briefly. I was able to. You ran over while you were shooting and gave us like a couple minutes on Talking Dead, but you and I bonded. You said pretty quickly.
Yeah, Denai. She's wonderful, and we're goofy, and we make up songs, or shall I say, I make up songs and sing them to her in between takes. And she's a wonderful addition to the cast, and we laugh and dance, and she's fantastic. And I think you are going to love her as Michelle.
Steven Yeun, what's up for Glenn this season? Is he gonna learn how to open his heart and accept the love he's always deserved? Like, I totally, it's so funny, you know, Glenn just seems like a guy like, this guy's never really had a girlfriend, and this really hot girl's throwing himself at him. He's like, I don't know, man. Like, what?
I mean, he's got, he can't just like dive in. You gotta play it right. You know what I mean?
You gotta dive in.
The cards. You gotta slow play the cards. With Glenn this season, it's really a blessing and an honor to play this part because I get a very kind of I think identifiable arc of someone that starts off as a boy and he grows up into a man. And second season was kind of first season was kind of showing that he had it in him. Second season was kind of realizing that for himself that he had it in him. And the third season is kind of just manning up and doing what he's supposed to be doing. And it's a blast. I was just gonna say what's funny is like all these questions that we're getting are so difficult for all of us to answer, at least for me, because we can't say anything. So we just like roundabout talk about things that we just say generic things and I apologize in advance. But
you don't have to apologize. You could be reading like the ingredients of Bisquick and these people would be jazzed. Like they wait in line a long time. They just want to see you up close and possibly touch you a lot. But other than that,
flour, water. I don't know.
No. Glenn's really hesitant, but Steven's all in all the time. So Lauren Cohan, what can you say? What do you think? What is Maggie going through after last season? She essentially declares her love for Glenn. She's going through all this stuff. Got a lot of family stuff, like not having a farm anymore. So where is she coming from, and where do you think she's headed?
I think Maggie's pretty lucky right now because she still has more family with her left than anybody else does, and I think that the priority for her is protecting her own. And I mean, we are now thrown into an absolutely insane world. Like the farm was like a walk in the park compared to where we are now. And I think that we've just kind of all become this one really tight family. And Maggie and Glenn certainly are super tight now. And just as a team, I think it's really been about, I don't know, we kind of all read each other's minds and figure out what it's taken to make it still.
Well, I think, especially when you come out of the farm, you guys are out in the woods, you're doing tick checks every day and shooting. It's like, oh, you're going indoors to prison. This must be really cushy now. And then Steve was saying, no, it's, you know.
So you know what sucks? Air conditioning. I actually never thought we'd say this, but the air conditioning is like, we were complaining about being cold sometimes. Okay, just rewind a minute. Yeah.
Well, just for the prison, though, just so people know, like, what we thought, you know, like toiling in the heat, we thought going indoors and shooting indoors was going to be a cakewalk, but I think all of us have, like, the black lung now or something. We all have the black
lung.
We have, like, bubonic plague. It's great. So it's good.
Yeah.
I want to welcome Denai to the panel this year. I mean, this is amazing for you. I mean, this must be amazing for you. Just give us a little glimpse of what your life's been like since we were able to announce that you had become this character that so many people were excited about seeing. What's your life like now?
It's completely different, needless to say. It's amazing. I mean, I've been able to learn how to use a katana sword, which is just really thrilling and insanely fun, and I've been embraced by the most phenomenal group of TV makers ever. So, I mean, I'm really having a great time right now. And just, like, working with these guys has been really phenomenal. It's really kind of life-imitating art, as Lori was talking about. Like, they just embrace me with so much love that I had no choice but to really just open up and just feel warm and fuzzy all the time, regardless of the fact that I'm in an apocalyptic world.
Because, you know, everyone, you know, I'm sure your job, I'm sure it's an exhausting day that everyone has, but I think about you in particular, you're certainly one of those physical characters because you're swinging a giant sword and you're kicking things in the face. So, like, what does the end of your day look like when you come back from work?
You know, it's really all good. I mean, interestingly, I learned early on about the magic of going to this natural food store and getting all these really good, like, kind of like natural, like, health supplement things, like cherries. I don't know if everyone knows this, really good for the joints and the muscles. Just cherries. You have to eat a whole bucket, so they actually make them into a little pill. So, you know, stuff like that really been just helping me, like, feel really good at the end of the day. A couple times I'm like, we done? No, just more, you know. So, I mean, I actually really been enjoying it. And then there's times I'll just, you know, you crash hard, but it feels good at the end of the day.
Now, I also welcome David Morrissey here, who's new to the cast. I kind of nerded out a little before. I was like, I love when you were on Doctor Who. But David Morrissey, you're a phenomenal actor. What was it like to come into this sort of pre-existing? I mean, obviously, Woodbury's a little separate for the time being, I would imagine. But what was it like coming into this show that already has such an iconic place in pop culture?
Well, I came into the show as a fan. I love the show. I've known Andy for a long time, so when it came on in the UK, I was really glued to it. I just loved it. And when the opportunity came to work on it, I was very excited. I knew it had a great cast, and I knew it had great writing and great production values. But the thing that I never prepared for is walking on a set and finding that it also has a fantastic crew. And it's a great family down there. It works. The set works really, really well. And people want to be there. You know, people want to go to work and work on this show. And to join that team has just been such a privilege for me. So it's a blessing. I mean, I'm sitting here now in front of you guys. Like, I keep pinching myself. It's like amazing. You know, and it's great to be a comic. I've always wanted to come. This is the first time to come. For the first time, I've been sitting on stage and answering questions about a show like this and being part of it. It's just a dream come true for me. So it's great.
It's a good way to lose comic opportunity, for sure. Have you noticed any major differences between, like, British productions, American productions? I mean, was the schedule, was it everything that you thought it would be, or were you just not mentally prepared for what the show would entail?
The heat.
Yeah.
In the UK, we don't really get the heat like you get in Georgia. It's a very different type of heat, but it's still great. You know, the show is what gets you through the day, really. But it's the production values. You know, we do shows in the UK as well. I mean, I do shows in Doctor Who, and that's a very well cared for show. It's very similar to this show in the fact that it's made by people who really love it. They love their show, and they're very proud of it, and they should be. And quite rightly saying here, you know. So no, the only thing that's different for me is the heat.
Yeah, it's not like the UK. It's like the log rolled in. Oh, the Ripper struck again, or whatever. That was it. But I know that you're certainly a character that people have been so excited about, like both of you, Denai and David. By the way, everyone should you're already lined up. I don't tell people here. Before we get to audience questions, I do have one more question for Andrew, which is, where do you think Rick is at right now? I mean, like, Rick is a guy that in season 1, good guy, lawful good, you might say, and now his alignment has changed, so the lines of good and bad for him seem constantly blurred. So what is it that you think keeps Rick centered?
Well, I certainly think this season you meet him at a place where he's sorry, I'm just trying to think this one through. Yeah, I'm just going to do that. Should I do that a bit more? Yeah. I think he is. I was reading a book. Has anybody read or seen The Road by Cormac McCarthy?
Yeah.
Great, right? And I saved reading that until now. And I think Rick is very much at that point. It's interesting because the timescale in that book and this season, I think, is very similar. And he's been pushing people away all the way through Cormac McCarthy's book. Go away, to protect his son. And in so doing, he loses his humanity. And I think that Rick has isolated himself from the group and in his marriage, and that's the way that he is protecting everybody. And I think that it's a really interesting place to start this season, because I think I'm currently going batshit crazy as well. Just the last few weeks, I've been going really bananas, and which is great. And but I do think that the season is very much about him realizing that he does need other people to survive. So, do you think that answers your question?
Yeah, perfectly. Because we talked about on Talking Dead, you guys are calling it the dictatorship now, where he was like, all right, shut up and sit down, now we're doing things my way and we'll leave. So I think that's a great place to start from season 3. Let's take some audience questions, because I'm sure there are many, and I want to make sure we get to a few. Oh, a lady just appeared. What is your name? What's your question?
My name is Claudia. I'm from Brazil. I'm here on behalf of the Walking Dead Brazil website and Rafael, my friend. You are a hit in Brazil. We have more than 20,000 followers on Twitter. The show is massive there. Anyways, my question is for Andrew. If you have a chance to play any other role on the show, which one would that be?
That's a very interesting question. Well, I'm having a bromance at the moment with Norman Reedus.
Make out.
But Carl is a great character, and I think that it's. I just want to say this about he is such a gifted actor, and the stuff that he's doing this season is going to blow your mind. He is so talented.
Chandler Riggs, yeah.
And Chandler Riggs, and we are so lucky to have this kid. He makes choices and that are way beyond his years, and he's been doing some magnificent work. So I think his journey this season is something that I'm watching very, very carefully, and it's a thrill. So yeah, maybe Carl.
I think there's an interesting parallel between the actor Chandler Riggs and character Carl, in that you sort of really get the sense in both instances that kids are so resilient and they will adapt to whatever situation they're drawn into because it's just how we survive. Yeah. And it seems like he's doing that as an actor and as the role of Carl.
I totally agree. And he's having this extreme. Oh my God, that's weird. That's bad. Whoa! Give me my hat back. Give me my hat. I missed my hat, by the way.
I borrowed it for like a minute, and then I just took a picture and I put it down. Sorry, I spotted it. What is your name? Nick Grimes?
I'm Carl, actually.
Are you serious?
Yeah, I am.
No, seriously.
Yeah.
Are you messing with us?
No, I'm dead serious.
All right, okay.
You can look me up on Facebook.
I probably do that.
Huge fan of the show. My question is for Mr. Lincoln and Miss Cohen. I'm wondering how you develop such convincing American Southern accents, since you're both Brits.
Jessica Drake.
Mm-hmm.
She's Andy and I both work with the same. Actually, no, as well. We work with a really wonderful dialect coach, and we have Skype sessions every Sunday. It's kind of like church. And I think it's been about a few key exercises, and then staying in it. Andy sets an amazing example. I mean, he's in his accent from second year rise until he leads, and I think that's something I've learned is a really good way to go. And I don't know, the one thing you have to be careful of. When I first started, there are a lot of Teamsters involved, and the people in our crew that are from the South, and their accents are extremely strong. So when you actually first start practicing it, there's a danger of getting a real drawl, which is a complete exaggeration and not true to it at all.
You just go sit in a crack barrel for 4 hours. You pick it up real quick. How about you, Andrew? How did you adapt so well to the accent?
Yeah, I think that we're lucky that we filmed down in the South, and the characters, the dialect is of that area, and it's just the rhythms. If you live and work around people that are in the same sort of ballpark dialect, it really, really helps. And in fact, I'm like a sponge. I just sort of absorb sort of inflection, and it's also. I just love living and working in America, and it's been, I started my coffee shop people. I just want to pick them up because my character is built on caffeine and tension, and that's Aurora Coffee Shop in Atlanta. I don't want to wear a t-shirt, but why am I talking about this? They don't hear this silly voice that I put on for Comic-Con. They only hear the real dialect. So.
Oh, that's cool. So you practice with it all day when you're.
Yeah, I just kind of stay in dialect.
Didn't they have to dial you back?
They did. Yeah, they said that. I think it was Gary. She came to me and said, "Andy, dial it in. We don't have to subtitle you." Because I think me and John in that opening car sequence, we were talking in the car. We went a little rural.
So. What did that sound like?
Watch the first episode, did you see?
What's your name, sir? What's your question?
My name's Ryan, and I want to ask the producers and the writers, there's a lot that you guys get away with on TV, but how did you get away with Andrea grabbing Shane? That was like full frontal, she just went for it. It was intense. What's going on?
First of all, it sounds like you were super way into it. How did you get that sweet Andrea on Shane Axman? She's got in there, it's worked it.
Hands. Hey, with my hands. You didn't show anything. You should have seen what we did. It got cut.
That was that guy's only question. Woo! Hello.
Hi.
What's your name?
My name's Vanessa.
Hello, Vanessa.
Hi, and I'm a lady who loves sweaty rednecks.
Call me.
Oh, anytime. Norman, you're my favorite.
Thank you.
Wait, Norman's not really a sweaty redneck, though. You know that, right?
No, I know.
Okay.
That makes it
You can say no matter what.
No, I'll take him.
Okay, gotcha, done. I actually post a game show. I know how this shit works.
Oh, great. Works for me. My question is for Robert. Are we ever gonna know the history of Daryl Dixon? I really appreciate that, so please.
I love you, brother.
I will say, so here's the thing, the show doesn't necessarily like to look back. We don't like to go too far into flashback mode, but I will say there is a new game coming from Activision that features Daryl Dixon as a main character, and it's all about him and Merle in the early days of the apocalypse killing zombies.
You will get to get inside the head of the guy you love and control him. Thank you very much. Next question.
Hi.
Hi.
My name is Jessica, and I love Steven.
Hi.
He's blushing, he just turned red! He's turned red!
Wait a minute. How old are you?
I'm 12.
All right. Back it up. Anyway, it is very respectable to meet you, young lady. What is your question?
My question is, if you're stuck in a real-life apocalypse, how do you think your chances are surviving?
Me personally, or all of us?
I don't really care.
She's awesome.
This is the greatest question ever.
Can we get her on our show?
With the chance of me surviving, I can be resourceful, but also I'm sometimes a little lazy. So, it depends how it all works out. I think I answered this before, but if the situation calls that there are a lot of attractive women around and just me, I'll stay. But
in 6 years.
In a while. In a little while. I was gonna say scouting, but that's a terrible thing.
Yeah,
that's a terrible thing. And if not, if there's just a bunch of bros, we'll just maybe I'll just lay down and let them bite me. So.
I love that there's your boy, and you're like, what a sausage party here, you like this. I'm gonna stick around for this. Apocalypse plan. Oh yeah, you're not stick around. Like,
There's
that's
no
dudes.
apocalypse. There's only dudes. It's perfect.
Thank you, porn star girl.
Thank you.
What's your name, sir?
My name is Richard, and I have a question for Robert. Daryl being such a popular character, would you ever consider him being a character in the comic book?
Never. No. No, I mean, it's, you know, I have the story in the comic book plotted out for quite a long time, and, you know, working something doing that is, you know, I'm just going to say, thank you for asking the question.
You can say, I mean, you know, without going into too much detail, but things, you know, we talked before about things that happened in the comic book. And I go, why did you, you know, when did you think of that? You're like, well, that was 2 years ago. Like, you really mapped out the arc of the comics, you know, way in advance.
Yeah, and I mean, I have, you know, a chance to, like, you know, change course and do different things every now and then, but for the most part, I'm working way ahead.
Yeah. All right, hi, what's your name? What's your question?
Hi, my name's Madeline, and I'm also in love with Steven.
Whoa. Oh, we know your demographic now, Steve. And we know that you should not be allowed at Legoland or...
Oh my God.
I'm going to just throw you into the Twilight now.
I love you too. Yeah, thank you very much. Man, I'm so red right now.
What is your question, buddy?
I was wondering who is most like the character in the show and who is the least like the character in the show.
Okay, yeah, really quickly, if you're gonna, that's a good question. Start with Andrew.
Well, I look a lot like my character.
Sound just like it.
Sound not so good. And I don't know. I mean, I wish. I mean, this is the joy of being an actor. You get to play people that you would never really be. And I love Rick, and for all of his faults and all of his strengths. And I don't think I'm anything really like him. You should probably ask, you know, my wife, TV wife.
But yeah, I mean, in the sense of me being not your wife, I would hope I'm pretty different from Lori in some significant ways. I imagine my husband and my real life daughter would prefer that I not be like her in some significant ways. So we're best friends. I think.
Kill your best friend. What'd you kill your best friend?
That was basically season 1 and 2. Well, yeah.
Well, I don't think people hold you accountable for Lori's actions. I mean, but you know, I think it's a tribute to the level of acting on the show where people really assign that stuff to you guys as actors. Like, how did you do that? You're like, I'm playing a part.
Oh yeah, the number of people who come up to me and be like, I can't believe you're slapping your husband's best friend. And I've like got my daughter and I'm in the grocery store and I'm like, I'm Sarah. I play a home writer on TV.
Oh, can you see me under my 12-year-old daughter? Oh, come on. Wait, what about your character? How much do you feel like you have in common with Daryl?
Well, my son came to Georgia 2 weeks ago and I took him fishing, and we didn't get a nibble for 5 hours. And somebody asked me, what do you use for bait? And I said, old bacon that was in the fridge, thinking that everybody loves bacon. So,
yep, people and fish alike.
Yeah.
Everyone loves bacon.
I'm nothing like Daryl.
What about you, Lori?
Well, Andrea's changed a lot on her journey. I think today, I think I'm probably closest to Andrea, personally. Yeah, so it's close. Mind you, that can change at any moment because she's very mercurial.
Yeah. Well, they kind of have to be. I mean, just with the world they live in, they kind of have to be that sort of emotionally nimble, I guess. See, what about you? You talked about that before.
Yeah, I mean, I think you know, early on it was a reflection of Glenn was a reflection of kind of how I was younger. You know, kind of chip on the shoulder, wanting to prove himself. And thank you. I love you too.
How old are you?
Oh, yeah, how old are you? Yeah. Use your ID.
Get used to that phrase.
I wasn't as popular with the younger ladies back then, so I don't think in that regard I'm so similar. I have no idea what's going on.
What about you, Lauren? What about you and Maggie? Do you see similarities?
Yeah, I think Maggie's kind of romantic. That's what I have in common with her. And, you know, my weapon skills are pretty amazing. And, yeah, and I'm like, boys that usually attract 12-year-olds. No, that's true, that's true.
What about, I think it's interesting for Janai David, who just basically, you know, you've just come in, well, I think spent a lot of time with these characters the last several months, but how, do you feel anything of you in Michonne tonight?
Yeah, I mean, well, sometimes I was more like her. She's, you know, so insanely sharp, and her instincts are just spot on in a way that is amazing. I think I think about a lot sometimes. I'm like, if I were in this realm, who would I become? And I think that's also the beauty of the show. You know, who would you become if you were in a realm this dire? And I think I hope I could become as much dexterity as her, and get as smart and sharp as her. But I think definitely there's an aspect of me that I have a bit of a lioness in me, and she's all lioness. So it's really about accessing that lioness part of me and allowing that to really show.
I mean, obviously, if you're an actor and you're accessing emotions, there's some parts of you that you have to bring to the character because that's just how it works. And David, what about for you and the governor?
Yeah, I think if I was given half the chance, I probably would be given. Tonight's right. I think we don't know who we are until we're challenged, and this is a very challenging world. You know, we like to think of the best aspects of ourselves, but we don't know ourselves until we're really put into the fight, and these people are fighting. You know, so what you want for yourself and you hope for yourself, and it doesn't necessarily need to say that is the case when you get into the pit. So
it really was. Like, I could just look at you talk about things, and like, whatever you say, I'm in. I don't care what it is. I think we have a very special announcement from Greg Nicotero.
Well, I actually went through the crowd earlier, and what we wanted to do is, I don't know, when you watch the show, what we give away every once in a while is an opportunity for someone to have their head cast, and my team turns them into a walker. So you get a bust made of you, and you come to my studio, we cast your head. So I was zipping through these 6,000 so people earlier, and saw a woman that I think would be fantastic, and her name is Lorena Gonzalez.
Where's Lorena Gonzalez? Lorena Gonzalez.
So she's right there. She's going to come. She is going to come to the shop, and we're going to make a zombie buster.
That's awesome. Congratulations, Lorena Gonzalez. Well done. I just told we have time for one more question, so let's go to that one more question.
Oh, that's serious. Okay, I have a quick shout out to Norman. You're so kind to your fans on Twitter, and it's so appreciated.
Thanks, man.
And my question is, why do you write the women on the show so scary? They creep up to the men saying, you should kill Shane, he thinks I'm his, or dictatorship, take over. Why don't they ever do it themselves?
Oh, wait,
Whoa.
see the season.
Was that for Robert or for Norman?
For the writers of the movie.
Okay, so you're talking about Norman. You're like, Norman, how can you write the show? We're like, what? That's not how it works.
That's a great idea. Maybe they will.
See? The system works.
And you know, for what it's worth, I think, since you bring up a specific scene, I think Lori did everything she could to handle Shane. And she did everything she could to manage that situation, and she only brought it to Rick. She didn't tell him to kill him. She told him to watch his back. And she was right, because Shane tried to kill him, and the right man ended up winning that fight, because she wanted to.
That's a good answer. I think that is a great way to end the discussion portion of this panel, but I feel like if you guys are up for it, we should just probably watch the trailer one more time before we...